Hey everyone, it's Andrew. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a video doing an unboxing, review, and initial setup of the Vevor Water Distiller. This is going to be the specific model YMK40230, and the main features of this is it's going to be a 1750 watt heating element. It'll basically distill upwards of 0.4 gallons per hour or 1.5 liters per hour. The overall capacity is going to be 4 liters or I believe 0.4 gallons. It'll dissolve basically solids and impurities from the water. It'll have a 0 to 99 hour timer as far as use, so depending on if you're using it for water or alcohol or other substances, you can basically time it based on that. It'll have dual temperature display, so you can switch it between Celsius as well as Fahrenheit, depending on what you're working with. It'll have 304 stainless steel for all the components that come into contact with the water, and then a glass carafe for collecting it. And so those are the main features. Currently you can get this on Amazon for, I believe it's about $106. They've got this model as well as some other lower grade models that are like about 750 watts. What I'll do is I'll leave a link below to this model just if you're interested, and you can kind of look into the different models from there. But what we'll do in this video is we'll take it out of the box, show you what comes in the packaging, we'll set it up, then I'll walk through distilling water for a period of time and then circle back with kind of just a general kind of review. But as always, check out the link below if you're interested. Okay, so here's the box it comes in. There's not much to the packaging. It just says Vevor on the one side. On the side here, though, it does show basically the information about this. So it's model YMK40230. It's basically 120 volts, 60 hertz, 4 liter capacity, heating power 1,750 watts, distilling power 1,000 watts. That's everything there. But really the model number is what you need to know as far as purchasing this model as compared to others. Now what I'll do is I'll try to open this up. Okay, so here's everything that came in the packaging. So you have the glass carafe, which is going to be 4 liter capacity. It has a silicone on the bottom or rubber on the bottom so that it doesn't slide or slip. This also comes with a stand where you can either put this directly on the stand so you can elevate it if you need. There's going to be a lid for the carafe as well. This is kind of a general plastic. It fits directly in, and then there's a spout on the one side so you can pour directly from this, and the lid clicks into place. There's 3 carbon filters. There's detergent for cleaning the carafe, as well as this component. The carafe doesn't have the handles built into it yet, and so there's some components here. There's going to be a handle, 2 screws which will insert directly on the inside of the handle here, which will actually connect with these bolts. We'll go over this in a second. And then these wire clasps that actually wrap around the carafe to put the handle on. There's the rack as well. There's the main body component of the water distiller where you can put the water directly in here. There's a control feature on the back, and then power outlets on the back here for that component. And then lastly, there's the top component here that inserts on and has a handle there. And then there's a power adapter as well for the power outlet. As far as instructions, there's instructions for putting the carafe together, which we'll go over in a second. And then there is a user manual that does go through instructions for setting it up and everything. It's all text, no imaging, but we'll try to walk through that process. But first off, we'll start off with putting the carafe together. Just so you can kind of get a sense of this, but you'll need the handle components, and basically what you need, and you'll need a screwdriver, which I already pulled aside. But basically you put these wire pieces around in the grooved area of the carafe where it's sitting. There's going to be this silver kind of block on the back side. So what you want to do is set it up so that the longer part of the back part is like that, and then have this set up exactly like I have it. And then what you want to do is just basically put the handle directly on so it lines up, and then it actually kind of like clicks into place. And so what I'll do is I'll start this screw just to get it going. And there, now it's kind of secure. And then what we'll do is we'll do the other one. All right, and so that's the handle component. Sorry for making that a little bit confusing, but hopefully that's helpful if you're watching at home. And then this is the lid here. And so that's all set. The only thing right here is if you see, I'm a little bit offset as far as the spout. So what I'm gonna do is just loosen this up real quick. And then rotate it so it's directly away from the spout, so that when you pour it, it's going to be much easier to pour that way. So that's better, where it's directly across from it. All right, so that's for that part. Okay, now what we'll do is we'll set up the actual distilling part. So this is the base of it. I'll zoom in on this a little bit. So this is the base, this is the top. This top part basically is going to have a spout where the distilled water comes out, and then this part inserts directly onto this and it'll click into place. Right, actually it doesn't really click into place. There's like a rubber silicone gasket, and that'll kind of sit right like, or actually you have to rotate it around, sorry. So you have to rotate it around this way so it's pointing to the right. And to make sure it's flush. And then basically this power adapter is going to plug directly into the base of it. So this power goes right into here for the cord. And then plug this power adapter into here. And then you can plug this directly into an outlet. Unfortunately, I have an outlet right here. Right? And so we'll rotate this so the power cord's not in the way. But now it's on, and you can start walking through the different settings here. What you'll do is you'll set up the carafe directly underneath this, so it collects the water. I don't think you can put the lid on. It doesn't look like the lid can be on at the same time. Maybe. Yeah, so there you go. So the lid actually has this kind of door area, and you can actually slide this, I believe, directly in a manner to make it so that this lid can be on while it's working. So yeah, if you set it up like this, basically the spout right there will go directly into the carafe, and you can have the lid on so it doesn't evaporate while you're using it. All right, now as far as the power settings here, we'll hit power. I do probably have to put some water in this. So let me do that first, just because I don't want to dry run it. But okay, so I have 3 liters of water in this. We'll take off the lid here. Be careful with the power cord. And then we'll just basically pour this directly in. All right. And on the back side here, you might not be able to see it on camera, but there's actually a full marker for indicating when it's full. And then what we'll do is we'll just put this top lid directly back on, slide this underneath here, put the lid on with the spout right there, and now we'll turn this on and we'll start looking at it. What I'm going to do is just zoom in here so you can see the settings here as we go. But basically you hit the power button on. There's going to be several indicators. So one is going to be the real temperature, and then that's going to be in either Fahrenheit or Celsius. There's the Fahrenheit on the top, which is currently blinking, and Celsius. The temperature for being set is on the right hand side, so currently it's set for 220 degrees, and I believe this is the length of time for how long it would take, so it'd run for 2 hours and 40 minutes, or that's actually the time, the clock, but I don't think it is. As far as setting a higher temperature, there's a plus button here, so you can set it there, and then on the side here you can set a lower temperature, and so you can do that. If you press and hold, it'll go quicker on either of those buttons. All right, so that's that. And in the middle here, you can toggle through the temperature or the temperature control settings, or temperature. So it's either Fahrenheit or Celsius, so you can toggle through that directly based on what you want. So for this, I could just set it to 100 degrees Celsius. We know that it's at 29 degrees Celsius right now. And then on the side here, I believe this is just setting the clock or timer. But that's really it as far as its functionality. Wow, you can't see that on camera. It's really weird that it looks that bad. But the fan is blowing out of the top. It's a pretty loud fan. There is a handle here to take off the top here, and basically as this temperature increases to 100 degrees, it'll start distilling out here. And that's kind of the length of time, it works. All right, before we get too far along, I did read the instructions more just because I read it more. But basically the first time you use this, you do want to just put 1 liter of water in here with some citric acid, and allow it to filter through, and then you basically clean out this whole system as well as the bottom system here, just because it's non-drinkable. Then after that you can put the full 4 liters in. And so what I'll do now is I'll kind of do that process, then we'll walk through the 4 liter process after that. Okay, so the water distiller just finished for the 4 liters of water. With the settings that it was currently on, it took exactly at 2 hours and 40 minutes. The temperature on the right hand side was set for 220, but usually the temperature stayed at 212, obviously, because that's the boiling point of water. Now what we'll do is just pull this out, set up the lid so it's more of a pourable lid, and then pour this out and get a sense of what it tastes like. I don't know what distilled water tastes like, but wow, it's actually very, 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 very clean, clear water. Like there's nothing, no impurities to it. It removed all the chlorine. It basically tastes like almost like a mineral water. Very, very clean from that standpoint. But that's all I really have for the video. Hopefully this is helpful for those of you that are looking into this model or the other models. It's about $106 for this model, which is the 1,750 watt model. And this is about, I think, whatever it is, like 1.1 gallons as far as the size, or 4 liters. And so it does have a good capacity there. But if you have questions, comments, just post them below. I'd be happy to answer them. One thing I did want to mention is that if you do have it run dry, it actually displays this E1 thing. It doesn't show up on the video, but it says E1, and that just means that it's empty, and it'll automatically stop on its own once it reaches empty, so it doesn't cause any issues as far as like the heat and burning and that sort of thing. But thanks for watching, and have a great night.